Every week, I get asked some version of the same question. Is Kitsap County safe? Almost every video answering that question online either drifts into territory it has no business drifting into, or it dodges. Both are useless if you are actually trying to move here. So today, I'm going to give you the answer the way a relocation client would get it from me in a private call. So the 7 real hazards in Kitsap County that affect where you should buy, how you should insure, and where you should drive, and which neighborhoods quietly sit on top of risks most buyers never even think about. No fear-mongering, no fluff, no politics, just the geography, the infrastructure, and the realities. So stick around for the full list. The number one item, the thing that affects almost every Kitsap buyer in some form, is at the very end. Here is what most people think when they Google whether Kitsap County is safe. They picture a quiet Pacific Northwest peninsula, water, trees, ferries, a Navy base, smaller towns, and a slower pace. That picture is mostly accurate compared to a lot of places, but yeah, Kitsap is calm. The lifestyle is the lifestyle. So they assume that because the surface is calm, the underlying risk profile is calm too. They book a flight, they tour, they love it, they write the offer, and about 90 days after they close, they start running into the things nobody told them about. Here is what those buyers are missing. Kitsap County is one of the most geographically concentrated, infrastructure dependent, and weather vulnerable counties in Western Washington. We are a peninsula. Our hospitals, ferries, freeways, fire districts, and even our cell towers are all clustered along narrow corridors. So when something goes wrong, and statistically every couple of years it does, your address determines a huge amount of how much it is going to inconvenience you. And that is what safe actually means here. Not a crime ranking, not a number on a city comparison site. Safe in the Kitsap context means how exposed is your specific street, your specific home, your specific commute to the hazards that this peninsula actually has. All right, I'm James Bergstrom. I am the broker and owner of Paramount Real Estate Group based right here in Kitsap County. I sit through inspections, septic reports, and seismic hazard maps for a living. I have walked clients through earthquake retrofits, tsunami zone disclosures, septic system replacements, well water treatment systems, and a lot of decisions about what road to be on when the power goes out. This is the conversation I have with every relocation client privately. So today, you get it all right here. Here are the 7 hazards we are covering in order. Number 7, liquefaction zones and the seismic geography most buyers never check. Number 6, tsunami and inundation lines, what they actually look like and how to read the map. Number 5, the big dark, wind, falling timber, and the realities of our power grid. Number 4, roads, deer, and the corridor problem nobody talks about until they live here. And number 3, the wildlife and the water risk profile, cougars, cold water, and outdoor logistics. Number 2, cell coverage, 911 reachability, and the rural broadband gap. And number 1, the single most underestimated factor in Kitsap safety, emergency services, capacity, response times, and hospital access. Bookmark this video right now, because by the end of it, you will have a usable checklist you can run on any specific Kitsap address. Bremerton, Silverdale, Poulsbo, Port Orchard, and Kingston, Hansville, Seabeck, anywhere before you even write an offer. Kitsap County sits inside the Cascadia subduction zone, the same fault system that runs from Northern California up through British Columbia. Most of you watching already know that. What you may not know is that within Kitsap, the risk is not evenly distributed. The Washington State Department of Natural Resources publishes a public liquefaction susceptibility map. Liquefaction is just a fancy word for in a strong enough earthquake. This soil temporarily behaves like liquid. Buildings sink, foundations crack, and pipes break. In Kitsap, the high susceptibility zones are concentrated along the shorelines, the historic fill areas, and certain low-lying inlets. Places like parts of downtown Bremerton, the lower edges of the Minette and Charleston neighborhoods, parts of Silverdale near Dyes Inlet, and several of the fill and grade waterfront subdivisions you can probably picture without me naming them. Here is how this matters when you buy. First, insurance. Earthquake insurance in Washington is its own product. It's separate from your homeowner policy. Carriers price it partly on soil type. A house on a high liquefaction shoreline parcel can cost sometimes thousands more annually than a similar house up the hill on a glacial till. If you are pre-qualifying purely on principal, interest, taxes, and standard insurance, your real monthly is going to creep on you. So second, if foundation type, older homes on post and pier or unreinforced concrete stem walls, especially in fill areas, get flagged on inspection more often than buyers expect. A seismic retrofit is not catastrophic, but it is real money. Typically several $1,000s, sometimes much more for a non-standard footprint. Third, resale. Buyers who do their homework, and increasing number do, start asking about the DNR map by name. Knowing this in advance keeps you from accidentally buying a future resale headache. Liquefaction risk does not mean do not buy waterfront. It means know what you are buying. The same way you would not buy a house in Florida without thinking about hurricanes, you do not buy in Kitsap without pulling up the liquefaction layer for the address. It takes about 90 seconds. It is the cheapest piece of insurance you will ever do, and it absolutely changes some buyers' neighborhood preferences. Kitsap has tsunami inundation maps. They are public. They model what would happen in a worst credible Cascadia event with realistic wave heights and inundation distances. In Kitsap, the modeled inundation lines runs along Sinclair Inlet, parts of Dyes Inlet, sections of Liberty Bay, and parts of Hood Canal's east shoreline and lower elevation shoreline pockets county-wide. They are not the entire shoreline, they are specific, mapped, elevation driven. So, practical implications. 1. If your property is inside a mapped inundation zone, your homeowner's policy should be reviewed by a Washington licensed agent who knows the difference between flood, earthquake, and tsunami coverage. Most standard policies do not pay for tsunami inundation. 2. Lenders are starting to ask about it, so on certain lower elevation parcels, especially in escrow, on tighter loan-to-value ratios, the lender may require additional disclosures or appraiser commentary. It does not kill the deal, but it can slow it down, and you do not want a tsunami line to be the surprise that creates escrow fallout. 3. It informs commute and evacuation thinking. If your daily route home from the ferry runs entirely through a marked inundation zone, that is a thing to be aware of. Not a thing to panic over, just a thing to know. Tsunami zones in Kitsap are mostly narrow shoreline ribbons. They are not the whole county. A perfectly common pattern in our market is to buy a primary home up the hill, outside the line, and own a beach cabin or short-term rental property inside it with the right insurance product. So knowing the line lets you make that decision deliberately. If you are in the early phase of evaluating a move to Kitsap and you want a single document that walks you through everything from septic and well to ferries to seismic and tsunami zones to neighborhood logistics, I built it. It's called the Free Kitsap Relocation Guide. It's 40 plus pages. It's exactly what I send my private relocation clients before the first call. Link is in the description. No pressure, no pitch, no spam, just the guide, and we keep going. Most relocators undersell winter in the Pacific Northwest because they fixate on snow, which we mostly do not get. The thing we do get is sustained, dark, wet, windy stretches between roughly mid-October and late February, what locals basically call the Big Dark. Big Dark season produces our actual hazard pattern. High winds, saturated soil, mature evergreens with shallow root systems, and a regional power grid that runs above the ground through dense canopy. So when wind hits 40, 50, 60 miles per hour into already soaked soil, trees can come down. And when trees come down, lines come down. And when lines come down, neighborhoods go dark, sometimes for hours and sometimes for days. First, where you live changes how often this happens to you. Areas with overhead lines running through mature timber, which is a lot of South Kitsap, North Kitsap, Seabeck, Olalla, Hansville, are statistically more outage prone than newer subdivisions where utilities are buried. Newer master plan neighborhoods parts of Silverdale, parts of Bainbridge's newer developments often have much shorter outage profiles. Second, it changes your house. So a primary heat source that depends on electricity, heat pump, furnace blower, baseboard, is wonderful at 60 degrees outside and tricky at 28 degrees with no power. A wood stove, a propane fireplace, a properly installed home generator, those turn this from an emergency into an inconvenience. Many Kitsap homes already have these, and many do not. Inspection day is when you find out. Third, it changes your home insurance and your tree maintenance. Carriers in Western Washington increasingly price for tree proximity. A tree that is a beautiful feature in summer is a 5-figure liability in a winter wind event. The big dark is not a one-time event, it is a season, so you gotta plan for it. Budget for a generator, a battery backup, a wood stove, or some redundant heat source. Know which neighborhoods are buried utility versus overhead. Ask the seller in writing how often the property loses power and for how long. That single question separates educated buyers from surprised ones. Kitsap is a peninsula. We do not have the freeway redundancy big metros have, and almost every cross-country trip funnels through one of a handful of corridors. Highway 3, Highway 16, Highway 305, Highway 104, and a network of 2-lane rural roads. That gives us 3 road safety realities, and relocators should really plan around. 1 corridor congestion, single-lane bottlenecks bunch traffic and create rear-end risk. The Gore stretch, as you know, is a famous one. We have an entire video on it. The point here is traffic risk is not evenly distributed in Kitsap. It is concentrated. 2, wildlife, deer, especially in fall and at dusk, are everywhere along the rural corridors. They are not a quaint nature feature. They are a real driving variable. Insurance carriers know this, and Kitsap, like most of Western Washington, has a meaningful animal collision claim profile. 3, winter conditions. We do not get giant snow events most years, but we do get black ice, hydroplaning on wet leaves, washed out lane visibility on rainy curves. Combine those with 2-lane shoulderless roads and you have a real safety variable that flat, bright climates do not. So how does this shape your move? First, vehicle choice. All-wheel drive is not a flex here. It is a tool. So is a vehicle with strong outboard lighting if you are doing rural commuting. Second, time of day routing. If you are commuting from rural North Kitsap into Bremerton or onto a ferry, your dawn and dusk windows are when wildlife and visibility issues are highest. Third, your home address relative to a major corridor changes your daily exposure. A property a quarter mile off Highway 3 with a paved street access road is logistically different than a windy 2-mile gravel approach off Seabeck Highway. Both can be wonderful. They are not the same daily commute. The corridor problem is solvable with information. You do not avoid Kitsap. You choose your address with eyes open. So drive your prospective neighborhood at the time you would actually be commuting. Drive it in the dark. Drive it in the rain. If you have not done that, you have not really shopped the property. Kitsap is a wilderness-adjacent county. The lifestyle benefit is enormous, and the hazard side is real and frequently undersold. So wildlife, black bears and cougars are present. Sightings happen every year, particularly in the wooded fringes of South Kitsap, the Hood Canal side and parts of North Kitsap. Coyotes are common. Raccoons, deer, and the occasional bobcats are regular. Water. Puget Sound and Hood Canal are cold year-round, meaningfully colder than the air. So cold water immersion is the single most underestimated outdoor risk in this region. People drown each year not because they cannot swim, but because cold water shock disables them in the first 60 seconds. Currents and tides. Large tide swings, narrow passages, and shipping traffic mean small boat handling, paddleboarding, and beach access changed with the tide chart. There is no swim-friendly ocean here. There is a saltwater inland sea that requires a different mental model. Lot setup. So if you're buying a property bordering greenbelt or forest, plan fencing, exterior lighting, and trash storage with wildlife in mind. Deer-resistant landscaping is real. Bear-aware trash protocols are real. None of this is hard, but it is a checklist. Waterfront and water access. If you are buying for the water, Factor in the cost of proper outdoor gear. Dry suits or PFDs rated for cold water. Marine radios, a real understanding of tide tables. The lifestyle is amazing. The lifestyle done unprepared is dangerous. Outdoor risk in Kitsap is not catastrophic. It is asymmetric. It rewards the prepared and punishes the casual. So show up with the right gear, the right awareness, and the right respect for cold water, and Kitsap is one of the best lifestyle plays in the whole country. Cell coverage in Kitsap is excellent. In the urban cores, Bremerton, Silverdale, Bainbridge, Poulsbo, Port Orchard Town Center. Out of those cores, in the wooded valleys and along the more remote shoreline pockets, coverage drops fast and sometimes drops to nothing inside individual driveways and homes. This matters in 3 ways. 1, 911. In a true emergency, your call needs to land. Cell-based 911 from a marginal coverage property can connect to the wrong jurisdictional dispatch or fail entirely. Most modern carriers often Wi-Fi calling, but most modern routers support it. If you are buying rural in Kitsap, this is an actual configuration step you should complete on move-in day. 2, remote work. Kitsap broadband is uneven. Some neighborhoods have legitimate gigabit fiber. Some have DSL satellite, fixed wireless, or Starlink. The difference matter to your livelihood, not just your Netflix night. 3, military families. PSSing into a property where your spouse cannot reliably reach you when you are on base or deployed is a real quality of life issue. It is solvable, but you have to know about it before you sign. Walk the property with your phone, all carriers if possible, and speed test app. Verify cell signal in the kitchen, the bedrooms, and the garage, the driveway. Run a wired speed test on the seller's router and screenshot it. Ask which provider, which speed tier, and whether the fiber is at the curb. If broadband is not where you need it, price in Starlink, fixed wireless, or Wi-Fi calling boosters. None of this is a deal killer in a great neighborhood. All of it is a budget item. Now we have covered 6: liquefaction, tsunami, big dark roads, wildlife, and water connectivity. Each of those is real, each of those is solvable, but there is one hazard category that sits underneath all of them. And this is the one I want you locked in for, because it is the single most important factor in whether Kitsap actually feels safe to live in. And it is the one nobody on YouTube ever discusses honestly. Here is the truth most channels avoid. Kitsap's safety profile is not primarily about how often something happens. It is about how fast help can reach you when it does. On a peninsula with a finite number of hospitals, a finite number of fire districts, and a finite number of advanced life support paramedic units, and limited cross-water transport, that is the real number you should be paying attention to. Our hospital infrastructure is concentrated. St. Michael Medical Center in Silverdale is the regional hospital. There is also Naval Hospital Bremerton for Department of Defense beneficiaries. For cardiac and stroke, certain trauma cases, and specialty services, the workflow can include transfer to Tacoma or Seattle, and sometimes by ground and sometimes by air. Our fire and EMS are excellent. They are also distributed. South Kitsap Fire and Rescue, Central Kitsap Fire and Rescue, Bainbridge Island Fire, Poulsbo Fire, Bremerton Fire, and North Kitsap Fire and Rescue. Each district has its own staffing model and station locations and average response times. 2 miles closer to a station can be a multi-minute difference in arrival time. This is the buyer due diligence layer almost nobody runs. 1, pull the average response time for your prospective home's fire district. Most districts publish annual reports. The number you want is average emergency response. For most of urbanized Kitsap, that number is reassuring. For some rural fringe addresses, it is meaningfully longer, and both are knowable. 2, figure out your hospital workflow. From Silverdale, the regional hospital is right there. From Hansville, it is a real drive. From Olalla, you are arguably closer to St. Anthony and Gig Harbor for some services. From Bainbridge, the workflow can include a ferry or a Tacoma direction transfer for high acuity cases. 3, if you have a specific medical situation, you build your address around it. Cardiac history, a child with a chronic condition, a pregnancy, an aging parent moving in. These are not abstract, these are address level decisions, and a good agent will help you make them. This is the unifying theme across all 7 hazards. None of them, not the ground, not the water, not the storms, not the roads, not the wildlife, not the connectivity, is fundamentally dangerous on its own. Each one becomes serious only in proportion to how reachable you are when something goes sideways. That is what safe actually means in Kitsap. Not a number on a comparison site, not a vibe, not a stereotype. Safe in Kitsap is a function of geography, infrastructure, environment, and access. And every single one of those variables is mappable, knowable, and plannable. So if you do that planning before you buy, this peninsula is one of the best places to live in the whole country. If you skip it, you're at the mercy of a system you do not understand yet. So there's those 7 things that I feel were very important to cover with you. And one last thing, the bonus most buyers miss. Insurance carriers absolutely look at all of this when they price your policy. Liquefaction zone, tsunami inundation, fire district class, distance to fire station, distance to fire hydrant, roof type, tree exposure. So if you are quoting 2 different houses in 2 different parts of Kitsap and the premium looks different, that is why. Ask your insurance agent to quote both before you commit. It can be a tiebreaker. So 2 ways to wrap this up. If you found this useful and you want me to keep doing the unfiltered version of these, hit the subscribe button. Leave a comment with the address area you are considering. I will personally read every one. That helps me know which neighborhood I should walk through next. So if you are seriously evaluating a move to Kitsap and you want the full 40+ page free Kitsap relocation guide, the link is in the description. And if you want a no pressure 20-minute relocation call with me directly, also in the description. There is 0 pitch on that call. That we just walk through your situation, your timeline, and the parts of this peninsula that fit in. That is it. Either path is the right one, depending on where you are in the process. Kitsap County is one of the most underrated, livable counties in this whole country, but only for the buyers who go in eyes open. So now you're one of those buyers. I'm James Bergstrom with Paramount Real Estate Group. I will see you on the next one.